Welcome to Chadwick Chats the News. If you've been following national politics, you know that the Georgia Senate race has gone to a runoff. It'll take place on December 6th between former football player Herschel Walker and current Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock. Now, a lot of people have been telling Trump, please don't go to Georgia, but nobody puts baby in a corner. And he's like, what the hell? No one tells me where to go. So I say, go to Georgia, Donald Trump, go. Go often, go today, just live there. Do a rally every day. Remind us all how just great you are. Herschel Walker, of course, made news today. He's very upset because apparently Raphael Warnock is the reason we no longer have All in the Family on television. And in similar news, why isn't there a monkey hosting the Today Show? That used to be a thing, wasn't it? While we're going back in time, let's go all the way back in time. Anyway, also, now that the Republicans have a razor-thin majority in the House, Kevin McCarthy is promising what every American wants. Lower inflation, shore up the border, I don't know, anything policy-wise that helps America? Of course not. Of course not. Hunter Biden must be brought to justice. He's a fugitive with a laptop. God only knows what else he's got going there. Now, over the weekend, another thing happened besides John Mellencamp sitting during the national anthem, which, of course, is a national tragedy. What is that about? You know, by the way, before I get to that, I'll get to that later, but he's 71 years old. Maybe he's like, I am tired. I'm not 71 and I'm tired. But a great thing this weekend happened in Las Vegas at the national, I think it's the Republican Jewish Coalition or Conference. This was said.
A number of top Republicans continue to urge the party to break from Trump ahead of 2024. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who's mulling his own presidential bid, tweeted this on Friday. We were told we'd get tired of winning, but I'm tired of losing. And so are most Republicans. Here is what New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu and former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie said during a meeting of the Republican Jewish Coalition on Saturday.
Candidate quality matters. Holy cow, have we learned that one the tough way. Look, here's a good policy. I got a great policy for the Republican Party. Let's stop supporting crazy unelectable candidates in our primaries and start getting behind winners that can close the deal in November. There's a unique decision for you. I mean, really, holy cow. That's important. Don't just assume it's all going to work out.
We keep losing and losing and losing. And the fact of the matter is, the reason we're losing is because Donald Trump has put himself before everybody else. Donald Trump picked candidates with one criteria, only one: not electability, not experience, not wisdom, not charisma, not the ability to govern. But do you believe the 2020 election was stolen or not? If you do, I endorse you. If you don't, I reject you. Well, let me tell you, that's not what this party stands for. It's not what it should stand for in the future. And we've got to stop up and stop it now.
You know, I'll be honest. I would love to say that the Republican Party has come to its senses and we can go back to talking about, I don't know, anything but Trump, and that we're moving on. But like Michael Myers from Halloween, Trump may rise again. We think he's dead because we killed him about 100 times politically, but he might come back, and so I don't think we can rule him out just yet. However, I also think you should know that I don't only watch politics. Here's something that might make your day.
Angela Alvarez made Latin Grammy history on Thursday by winning the award for Best New Artist at age 95. The singer tied in the category with musician and songwriter Silvana Estrada, but she had already set a record going into the event with her nomination as the oldest musician ever nominated in the category. I want to dedicate this award to God and to my beloved country, Cuba, which I will never be able to forget, Alvarez said, accepting her award on stage at the Latin Grammys in Las Vegas. The Cuban native's passion for music began in her youth. She was discouraged from pursuing a career in music by her father but found joy performing for her family. The mother of 4, grandmother of 9, and the great-grandmother of 15 immigrated to the United States in the 1960s, according to Billboard. Over the years, she sang for her family about her life and developed a collection of songs she composed. At the encouragement and support of her grandson, she eventually recorded and released a collection of her songs in 2021. The Latin Grammy nomination came as a surprise to her, Alvarez told CNN en Español last month.
I love how people on the right are all, it's fine if you protest, just be respectful about it. As if you have a right to tell other people how to protest. And by the way, it's always white people I hear saying that. And never African Americans go, yeah, white people, it's okay if you protest. Just be respectful. And on that, I'm going to bring you my next not a closer look. Over the weekend, John Mellencamp sat before a football game during the anthem, and the MAGA world lost its collective shit. You're disrespecting the anthem. You're disrespecting and spitting on the military. Why not just add, hold my beer? I'm going to go shit on the Constitution now. Do you know what's disrespectful? The national anthem. I'd be willing to bet that most people who are all, national anthem, have no idea who wrote it, when they wrote it, and why. It was written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812, by the way. He was an incredible racist. And there's a reason it took over a century for that song to become our national anthem, because it's so racist. Here are some of the other lyrics after the land of the home of the free and the land of the brave. We've got no refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. Oh, wow, that sounds like people who care a lot about other people's freedoms. See, freedom back then was freedom, and it was great if you were a white male landowner. You couldn't vote back then if you didn't own land, which means all of Manhattan would not be voting, which I'm sure would be perfectly great for the people who love Lee Zeldin. But luckily, we don't live in that world. Yay! Now, while we're at it, these are the same people who followed the biggest whiner in the world, who is both, you're going to get tired of winning, I'm going to win so much, but I am a great victim, Donald Trump. He said, go to the Capitol. I really won this election, although he didn't, and there's no evidence that he did. So they went and tried to disrupt a democratically conducted election and threatened democratically elected leaders. Even if you think 2000 or 2020 was stolen, the people who were in Congress that day had been elected 2 years before. So I don't know what you think you were doing. But that was the first time in our history that the Confederate flag, you know, the flag of the people who wanted to destroy the Union and tear it apart and were traitors and liked to own people, that's the first time their flag was brought to the Capitol building. Now, personally, I find that flag abhorrent and disgusting. However, if you want to go fly it, walk with it, do whatever you want with it, I will protest if someone takes away your right, because that's your right. And that's the right that our military fights for. So, these same people, back the blue, unless the blue are the Capitol Police who died that day fighting for our democracy and our freedom, and the same things you claim that the national anthem celebrates. But, you know, consistency, also the hobgoblin of small minds, has never been a big thing for the right wing. I'm sure that whole thing is over your head. But another disrespectful thing, bringing people from another land like this and owning them for 400 years only to let them be free and then send them all to jail or prison. We have more people in prison than any country on earth, and they're primarily brown and black people. Now, if you're offended by sitting at the national anthem, but not offended that someone who is brown or black can be shot while sleeping, as Breonna Taylor was, or just playing in a park like Tamir Rice, who was, I think, 13 years old, say their name. But you're offended by the national anthem thing, but you're not offended by shooting black and brown people who are unarmed, then you need to check your racism, because you've got it. A big old case of it. Every last one of you that thinks that. Protests like this are the reason people like me can vote. They're the reason that we had the civil rights movement. that our country, although moving too slow, is moving still ever so close, more closely to the more perfect union that our founding fathers talked about. And those service members you claim to support, they are not offended when we exercise our right, because they fought for us to have those rights. That's what it means to be American. And that's not a closer look.